Okay. So palettes, the colors on our palette are really an individual thing. In the master course, I have a thing in there. I think it's, I haven't watched those videos in a long time, so I don't remember where everything is. I think it's in the one on color, and I was just amazed at when you look at think about all the professional artists that you admire, Richard Schmid, Jeremy Lipking, Morgan Weisling, all these different artists out there. If you go and you look at the colors that they're using, each one of them, even if their styles are fairly similar, their palettes are different. So it's really not so critical, and I will tell you what my palette is, but it's really not so critical to think about what palette someone else is using as much as what's going to work for you. And that takes experimentation. Over time, you'll get to where one color you really like, another color you don't. Some people like John Potashnik, he loves a limited palette, maybe 3 colors in white. Sometimes he might add a couple more colors to it, that sort of thing. And that works really well for a lot of people, especially when they're beginning. I love to have a lot of colors. So I have titanium white. I stay away from zinc white. There's a lot of titaniums. Actually, I do have a zinc white right now. I didn't realize it had titanium that has zinc in it. I didn't realize it. It's the M. Graham and Company white. But it's supposedly a small amount of zinc in there just to brighten it up. So zinc, if we have too much zinc in our white, it will tend to crack over time. It gets brittle. It's really not a good thing to have in our paints overall. But sometimes if it's diluted overall, if it's diluted enough, it's not going to affect it, that I've seen. Because Richard Schmid, Dan Gerhardt, they've been using the Lafranc white, which is a titanium with zinc in it for years, for probably a couple decades, I think. And I've never seen where their work is having any problems with cracking or anything. So anyway, let's see. I used the titanium white, cad lemon, cad yellow medium, cad orange. The cad orange is not a necessity color for me, but sometimes when I'm doing especially fall foliage with my aspen trees or something like that, boy, just getting a little spot of that pure cad orange on there, it's beautiful. So I like cad orange just because it's just so punchy. It's just an intense, beautiful color. Then cad red light, cad red medium. Then I have the transparent oxide colors on there, transparent oxide yellow, orange, and red. And those replace yellow ochre, raw sienna, and burnt sienna. And then I have quinacridone red, because I have quinacridone red and alizarin crimson. Alizarin crimson is what I used for decades. And then the quinacridone red, I started using that just in the last 5 or 6 years probably, because I realized that it's a lot cleaner when I try to do certain lavenders for flowers. I love to do a lot of flowers. The alizarin crimson has more on the bluish side, and it gets dirtier. With the quinacridone red, it's a really stable color, and it is beautiful. You can get these lavenders that are just really nice, clean, beautiful lavenders with it. So I have both of those, but I still need the alizarin crimson, because the quinacridone red is not dark enough for my dark mixtures, my shadow mixtures. So after that, I have ultramarine blue, phthalo blue, green shade, blue shade. It doesn't really matter. I think mine is green shade right now, but phthalo blue, phthalo green, and sap green. So the sap green I've gone back and forth with over the years. I tried to get away from it because I was using it a lot, and if we're not careful, sap green can become a crutch, and it's just good to get away from crutches. So I eliminated it for a little while, but I like it, so I put it back on there just in the last few months. The phthalo green, it's my replacement for viridian because it's more powerful, and I can get some amazing greens with it when I mix it with the cad yellows and cad reds and that sort of thing. But it just takes a little teeny bit too. That's one of the things I like about phthalo blue and I forgot the blue in between the phthalo and my greens is manganese blue. I also use that. That's a replacement for cerulean, which I used to use through most of the 90s. But I had used manganese when I was in school, remembered that I liked it, and I wondered why. So I got some, put it on my palette, and realized, oh, I like this a lot better than the cerulean. It's just a more rich color. It's not as much on the yellow side as the cerulean, not as much on the blue side as the phthalo. It's kind of like a perfect in between, and I can get these amazing sunny day skies with it. So that's my palette.